Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the live session today. You're welcome to CyberGist Live. So it's another
Everyone.
beautiful month and it's another interesting time where we just come and have discussions around cybersecurity. And today we are looking at learning from stories of different people's journey, right? Our journeys of learning, leaping, and landing in cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is not like there's no one straight path. So everybody has been able to get into cyber in different ways, and we're going to just be sharing our stories, right? So it's a cyber gist. You're welcome to Securely Evolving. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please click on the subscribe button, click on notification, and there's always something good for you in here. Right, so we'll just dive straight into it. I have some guests here with me. I'm not doing this alone. So I'll just like to hear from each of them, right? So just a quick introduction. Let's get to meet them. Let's get to know who they are and who are these people we're going to be learning from their journeys. Right. So I'll start with Mr. Durojaye Olusegun. Hi, Shegun.
Hi everyone, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. My name is Droja Olusegun, and I'm an information security professional. Yeah.
Hi, Shegun. It's nice to have you here. I am really excited to have you here. So we also have Oluwafolakumi. Please say hello. Hi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oluwafolakumi Adebayo. I'm a cybersecurity engineer and also an ISMS officer. It's good to be here.
Thank you so much, Fola. Yeah, so we also have Faith on the call. Hello, Faith.
Hi everyone, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, my name is Faith Sinsika. I'm a cybersecurity professional. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Faith Sinsika.
Thank you, Faith. Yeah, so we also have Anisha. Hello, Anisha.
Hi, me.
Yes,
My name is
Hello, Anisha.
and I'm a self professional. My name is
Anisha.
and I'm a self professional.
Yeah, hi Anisha. So it's nice to have you all here. I deeply appreciate you coming to share your journey with us. So we'll just dive straight into it. Before I go ahead with the questions I have today, so has any of us here ever tried to set up a lab? Like you went through the whole process of trying to set up a lab and it crashed. Anybody had the experience here? What was it like? Process of trying to set up the lab and crashed. Anybody had the experience here? Yeah, please can we please mute mics, please? So does anyone want to share their experience with, like, have you ever cried, like have you ever experienced a broken lab setup, like after the whole process? What was it like? Just like a random icebreaker. So who has ever had that experience, that frustration after setting up your lab, it just crashed?
I've had that experience. I would say it's pretty frustrating, especially after taking a lot of time to set up your lab, have all your dependencies working, and all of a sudden your lab has crashed. It's really frustrating. Is working.
Yeah, so I think
don't.
that's one of the very first bad experiences I had getting into cyber. It wasn't a funny experience. So for me, I'm a crybaby, so I really like it was super.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah,
I
so
don't think
has
there
anybody
is.
else had that experience?
Yeah. So I don't think there's any cybersecurity professional, right, or any tech professional who has not come across a field lab, right? You see yourself watching a video from the starting to the ending, and You want to replicate what you've watched, and all of a sudden it broke. So most times it's always very frustrating, right? You'll be wondering, but it wasn't not just what I just finished doing. Like this is the exact step this person actually did to get this lab running, right? So it's an experience that I've experienced multiple times, and it's always very frustrating. Most times, there was a time I almost gave up. I was like, "Are you sure this thing is for me?" You get so it's an experience that everybody must have one way or the other must have experienced, right? You get so it's it's an experience
Yeah,
that
thank you so much. Yeah, I think just like you said, there's no way you'll be in cybersecurity and somehow you've not set up a lab that's probably frustrated you so much. Yeah. So we just get right into it. So this question is going to be going to all of us, and just want us to share our journey. Like how exactly did you get into cybersecurity? How did you even get to know about cyber? Share our journey. Like how exactly did you get into cybersecurity? How did you even get to? Yeah, so I'll be starting with Faith. So how did you come across cybersecurity? Were you walking on the road one day and you just bumped into it? What's your background like? Hi, Faith.
Why me first? Okay, that's fine. Okay, had the community cybersecurity. I think it started with me being curious about that was some years back, 2018 or 19, so when I started learning how to code. I was actually introduced into tech, right? So I started with programming, some programming language. I was just, that Z when you're starting something new in tech, you're writing codes and you're seeing your stuff showcasing on your browser, like that enthusiasm in you. So you don't even sleep, you're spending all the night. And then I was just trying out different aspects of text and the rest. And then I think someone account was hacked. Facebook then it was very very rampant. Some of my friends their Facebook account got hacked, and then I became curious to like know how it work. How did they get to hack someone's account? So I started doing research on my own, and that's why I learned about multi-factor authentication for the first time. So I knew that my account is at risk because I didn't implement any. I was just using one week password then. So I started learning on how to what password is there. I didn't understand all this stuff. They're actually strange to me. But when I saw that someone account was hacked, and even I think it's my cousin brother, his account or his Gmail account was hacked, and I think it was into crypto also, and then all his money, capital, everything gone. So that was what prompted my interest to learn how to secure my account basically. So I started learning how I didn't know what I was in, sha, but I was just trying different things because I was very very curious. So I started doing some research on my own, just doing going on browser to just search. Okay, what factor authentication? What is password? What does it mean? And this, that, and that. What is username and the rest? So I learned about multi-factor authentication, and then I went ahead to practicalize it. So I started implementing it on my own account and then also on my Gmail, and then I started teaching like close people around me there on how to implement it. I didn't know I was doing cybersecurity. My mind, I was just trying to protect my accounts from being hacked from the bad guys and the rest. I mean, that's how I started my cybersecurity journey, even though I didn't know I was doing cybersecurity. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Faith. So did you study cybersecurity in school or what's your background?
No, no, I studied sociology in school. I studied sociology and anthropology, nothing close to cybersecurity. I was just introduced into tech. I mean, I went to church one day and then I saw this guy, one of my friends, is the one that mentored me in coding and the rest, talking about coding and everything was strange to me. The only thing I knew about computer was just WordPress, what is it called, draw and all those things. I had to use all those technology there. So in my head, I was thinking that if I want to start this tech, I have to, go to one big school. Everything was strange. I was discouraged. When they call tech, a lot of people will come out. People were like 20s, 30s coming out that they want to learn. But me, I said, no, I have to go and start from the scratch because I've forgotten my computer basics and the rest. So I think the class started, and a week after I didn't join, but one of my friends saw me. I was like, "Ah, Faith, you look like someone that would be interested into computer. Why not join this class?" I don't even have a laptop. Let's start there. I don't even know this code. Everything is just boring. Like, to me, where do I even start from? He said I should just start. So I went to the class the first week, and they are teaching. I've seen code, and they are asking, "Do you understand?" I also nod my head yes, so I understand, even though I don't even know what they're talking about. And then I started. I After like 3 days, I got interested in it. So I didn't have a laptop, so I started using my phone to learn how to code. I don't used to sleep in the night, even though it was very frustrating. I'm like, no, I'm not giving up in this thing. At first, I wanted to become a demographer because I was very good in statistics back in school. So my plan was, after my undergraduate, I was planning to further my masters in demography to become a statistician. I actually love statistics very well. But that 2019, that's when tech came. I mean, I think we had ASU strike for those that are in federal school. So that was like a great opportunity for me. I mean, it was a blessing in disguise because someone pushed me, and then I started seeing, going for the classes, and I developed interest for like for 4 days, for sometimes for 4 days in a week. I'll not even sleep in the night. Started learning coding, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. All I was using my phone to do this because I didn't have a laptop there, and I couldn't afford. I mean, I was just a student. I couldn't afford laptop. So I started using my code, going on free code camp, learning until finally I got a system. So I did study computer in school at all. I studied sociology. And that's how my journey started. Thank you.
Wow, that's quite the journey. The sleepless nights and the rest, and coming from a background that is totally unrelated. Well, we'll come back to that. Yeah, so let's hear from Shegun. So please tell us about your background. Tell us how you got into cybersecurity. Like, did you pick it from the floor? I think you're muted.
Sorry. Are you sure 45 minutes will be enough for me? Because I can I can take the whole day. Are you sure 45 minutes will be enough for me? So basically, so I studied geology in school, right? So I studied geology and mining in the University of Calabar. So I think initially cybersecurity was not, should I say, I was just tech savvy, right? And when I was in school, I started tech when I was in my 300 level. So during my 300 level, I was introduced to statistics, right? So since I was a geology student, so they asked us to start making maps. I started making maps when I was in school. I was on my 300 level. From making maps, I started doing data analytics with Excel. So from data analytics, then I didn't have a laptop, right? So I was using one of my lecturer's laptop. So I was practically assisting him because he was doing his PhD in, I think, geostatistics. He was doing his PhD in geostatistics. So I started using his laptop to do some analysis with him using Microsoft Excel, right? So sorry, I'm getting there. So I'm just trying to explain my journey, how I landed in cybersecurity at the end of the day. So I started doing geostatistics with Microsoft Excel, and I was very inquisitive. It felt interesting. So at a point, most of the tasks became they became repeatable. Like I kept on doing one particular thing all over and over again, and then something came into my mind, and I was like, how can I be able to automate these things, like to be able to not do these things over and over again? That was how I was introduced to Python. That was how I started learning how to code. And the first programming language I started using was Python programming language, right? So I started using Python to write scripts. I stay up late at night to study functions, lists, build projects, right? I even bought multiple Udemy courses. I know most of us must have seen that mine where you see a lot of Udemy courses, and you each of those courses you just do like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like you don't just finish the courses, right? So that was how inquisitive I was. Whenever I just see a good topic that has Python on it, I'll just buy on Udemy, even when I know that I'm not going to finish the course. But that was how curious I was about tech, right? So at the point, my laptop got broken and I didn't have a laptop to study with, right? So after my school, I was opportune to go for a conference, right? Right in that conference ground, I engaged in a tech savvy question about Python, right? So I won myself a laptop. That was 2019. I can never forget December 12th, 2019. I won myself a laptop just by answering a tech savvy Python question. So that was how I continued my journey. I was just, then I was just engrossed in Python. After my school, I was just learning Python, building projects and all, right? Then one day I saw a posting about an entry level role. So all of this time I did not have a job, right? In tech. I was just learning without a job, right? So I kept on learning, right? So that was just the pain point of consistently learning for more than 2 years without a job, right? So I saw a posting and the posting was an entry role for cybersecurity, right? And the funny thing is, all through my journey, I never knew about cybersecurity. But since I was inquisitive, I just wanted to break into tech. So in my head, I was like, even if it's software development, any field at all, I just want to break into tech. So when I saw cybersecurity, I did one or two research about cybersecurity. Before now, I used to think cybersecurity just hacking, catching people who are stealing money and all, right? But I started learning, I started browsing about cybersecurity, and I saw the bigger picture that it's not just about catching thieves or catching the hackers or hacking system, right? It's far beyond that. So I applied for the job, right? I said, okay, I want to try something new. And just to cut the long story short, that was just how I broke into cybersecurity. So my breaking into cybersecurity was not, should I say, orchestrated, right? Because from the onset, I was just open-minded, right? I was just open-minded. I was just open-minded. I was just tech savvy. I was learning Python, different stuff, right? So me breaking into cybersecurity was not orchestrated, right? I don't know if I don't know. It might be that I might be the only one who did not like wanted to do cybersecurity, right? But to be honest, it has been an amazing journey so far, and yeah, so that's pretty summary about my journey into cybersecurity. That was how I broke into cybersecurity. It's been an amazing journey so far, and yeah, so that's pretty summary about my journey into cybersecurity. That was how.
Thank you so much, Shegun. That's like really an interesting journey. Like you just and I have a question that is going to follow that up. Yeah, because I want to I want to learn like between all of that happened, like you said, it's like a decision that's, yeah, it's working fine. It's not something you look back. So I'm going to come back to the question, especially on that. So let's hear from Fola. Fola, please, did you fly into cybersecurity?
Hello, no, I didn't fly. I think I crawled, I would say. But anyways, I think one word I've heard everyone say is curiosity, right? Curiosity, being curious is a very good thing, I would say. I studied physics electronics in FUTA, and it had nothing to do with computer. Majority of it had nothing to do with computer, right? So one way or the other, I wanted, because it's a federal school and your course is 5 years, right? So it was time for internship, and I wanted to do my internship. So I did my internship in a satellite communication company. That was what they do. So what they do there is just like your DSTV and all those direct to home services. Basically, they receive feeds from satellites in space, down to end users and all that, right? So I was in that department where you have to make sure the satellites are aligned so you can get the feeds and everything. And there was one guy. He was the only guy in that room. That room had a lot of screens, maybe like 15 screens, right? And he was the only one there. I heard he used to draw feeds through IPs and everything. I just so at the back of my mind every day when I come to work and go home, I was like, how can I be as important as this guy? Like in my mind, I was like, if this guy does not come to work tomorrow, this place will crumble. And this guy is an asset. Like he's very important. So everything at the back of my mind was like, how can I be this important? Like, how can I be an asset? Like, how can I be somewhere and people would love to reason with me? People would love to have conversations with me. People would love to know what I know, right? So that was why I inquired. I said, oh, this guy that is here, right? What does he do? And he told me, oh, he's into networking, basically, like does networking and all IP communication and everything. That will be the very first time I'll hear networking. So I asked, I said, oh, what's networking? Everybody gave this very holistic view explanation, told me to go and just go online and search. So I went online, I searched, I did everything. I was started looking at little materials, orbs, and all these little things there, and I was like, router, switch, okay. I got a note, right? So I'll start writing all these things down because I felt that when I learned this networking, I'll be as important as that guy is, right? That was the whole mindset. So I went back to school, and when I went back to school, like I said, curiosity, right? I opened my mouth and I said, I learned about something networking, right? I would really like to know if there's anybody that knows networking. Someone else told me that the guy opposite me does that thing, that is even in computer department and all. And I walked into his room. I said, hello, Peter. I heard you do networking. And I said, oh, I don't do networking. I do cybersecurity. And I said, oh, what's cybersecurity? And I said, I should come inside. And I told me to sit down on his bed. And I said, oh, cybersecurity, we're protecting information, we're doing this. I said, wow. I said, what me I want to do is networking. I heard that networking is very good. It was trying to explain, right? It was trying to let me know that everything is interconnected, basically, right? Your knowledge of networking is very important and everything. So I was like, the question I asked him was, where do I start? Right. So my curiosity is I want to be important, right? I want a career whereby in the next 5 years is not replaced by computers, right? Those are all the things I sat down to think about because I was like, okay, if I'm doing this satellite, I'm using my hand, moving satellite left, right, left, right. Over time, people have automated that process whereby you just put in the coordinates and automatically the satellite points and faces, or the dish faces the satellite in space. So over time, that won't be a skill that will be needed anymore, right? So okay, this is looking very promising. And also, he told me that, okay, he gave me the basics and he told me that I should look into skills for all. That's a free account. I should create a free account on there, and I'll see a course introduction to cybersecurity. That he can't explain all to me. But when I take that course, I would get an overview of what it's about, and that was how my journey into cybersecurity started while still studying physics. Thank you.
Wow, that's an interesting one. I would like to know how important you like. Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. Yes. So, hi, Anisha. Yeah, I've asked if people jumped or flied or so. I don't know. Did you just land like you slept and you woke up one morning and you were in cyber? Please share with us.
Okay, so for me, let me start from the first time I heard of the term cybersecurity, right? So I was at school. I'm still at school in my third year right now. I think I was in part one. And then what happened is there is this company which was hosting a capture the flag competition. And then what the company did, it was sponsoring for your accommodation and food, transport. So I wanted to go out, right? Then I had to attend the competition. So when I got there, I was just a spectator. Yeah, that's all I can say. And then when they were now, what can I say? When they were now doing when the competition was over, actually, when they're now announcing those who won, I was inspired because there's this other lady who took position one. I was so inspired, and I was like, what is cybersecurity? Capture the flag, whatsoever. What is this? And then when I got back to school, I had a friend of mine who had attended the competition with. So it happened that there was the Cyber Girls Fellowship, right? Uh, it was the last day of the deadline. I think 3 hours were left for the deadline to reach, right? So what happened is he called me and then he was like, Anisha, please come and then you apply for the cybersecurity course. You never know. And then I didn't know what to do, but out of curiosity, just as everyone said, I came to campus and then I started to apply. So little did I know that the application process was long. It was like something else. And then they were like, record a video of yourself telling us why you think you are the best candidate for this fellowship. And then I'm like, the way I'm so shy, I don't think I'll be able to do this. And then my friend was like, okay, let's start. And then we recorded almost like 30 videos. And then we wanted to choose the best. I didn't even notice that the time was clicking. And then it happened that I finished everything that was required when it was left with 30 seconds. I still remember I submitted my application 30 seconds before the deadline. And then as time went on, I managed to get into the fellowship. So yeah, I was in my second year. And you know, when you are doing, I was doing computer science, right? So you know that when you are at school and then you enter into a fellowship, that's disaster. Because you now have to know how to balance everything, to manage everything, your personal life, your school, and your cybersecurity learning fellowship. So it was hectic, but nevertheless, I'm here. I'm so excited. I'm sure, goodness, you're going to ask us questions because I don't want to finish your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anisha. That's such a beautiful journey. And I think one of the learning journeys, like I would actually want you to share it, how you were able to manage learning cyber while still, not leaving your academics aside, like how you were able to combine that. So I'll still come back to that. That's a beautiful journey in between. Yeah, so this question would go to, okay, so I'll go back. I'll go back to Faith, right? Um, Faith, can you share with us like what's your most challenging? I know that it's not a bed of roses, right? But what would you say has been your most challenging moment learning cybersecurity?
Okay, my most challenging moments. Okay, so for me, after I told you I started with what's it called, learning programming language, and then also learning how to secure my account and the rest. So I was told about Cyber Girls, and I got into the program after applying and the rest. That was 2.0 course. So you know how intense it was. We both are from Cyber Girls Foundation. You know how intense the whole study was. I was actually serving, and then I had my system, but I think a few months after that, that's when I graduated, and the program was really, really, really deep. So stopping work and concentrating in cybersecurity fully, because okay, let me put it this way. I started learning programming, and then I got to a point that I could build websites. I was just trying out different things. So I was just be like just replicating different website, and I also did some projects with some few people there in the industry, because I usually attend any dev fest or meetup program just to get to network and meet more people. So along the line, I started doing some projects with people. The more I get to connect, the more I get to like do little projects, and then I grew up with learning other programming language. So when I started the cyber girls program, I could not combine the both, because learning programming language is actually very, very intense. Joined with how the cyber girls program was really, really challenging for me. So I was advised to drop one and focus on one. cybersecurity is new. Like, you have to learn all the whole concept, understand networking, understand IP address. You have to understand a whole lot of stuff. And then plus the weekly assessment that we have to do every Friday. After the whole section you have from Monday to Friday, you have to write an assessment and the rest. So it was a bit challenging for me to combine learning my programming language, continuing my programming language, and also learning cybersecurity. So I had to drop the programming language and focus fully on the cybersecurity program for me. And one of my greatest challenge was finance. I became very broke because all the money I saved during uh, my service year, I exhausted it, and then I had a job offer, and the job required me to be going to work every day from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. or so. And you know the way the program is, you have to program starts by 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. So there's no way I could go for that job and still be doing following up with my cyber security training program. So I lost that job, and then I focused fully on it. So it was really, really challenging for me. I didn't have any money, I didn't have any support. I just had to find a way to, manage myself. Sometimes I struggle with getting data. I had to reach out to one of my friends or my family members. Please, I'm into this training program. Well, can you can you help me with? And plus the fact that I told my family that I'm not coming back to their house after my NYC, that I want to become an independent woman. So I ran away from the house because this African mentality. After your service, next thing is they'll start pushing you to marriage. I'm like, no, I know what I want for my life. I know what I want to achieve. So I want to go fully into tech. So I had to like look for a way to run away from the house after my service. I was staying with one of my friends, but I based in Abuja there. So there was no money, there was no income at all. It was really, really tough. But I still, God helped me, Sha, to able to scale through the whole 7 month training program down to looking for a job and finally coming to Lagos. Let me stop there. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, I can relate so much. You see that more like, oh god, let's not talk about the being broke and trying to get data and all of that. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I believe a number of people here, like even those on the call, like I believe is like we can relate. We can relate. Yeah. So yeah, I think this question should go to Shegun. Yeah. So while you were exploring your curiosity and all of that, what was the first thing, like, I don't know how to say it, like when you just hit, so something just hits you and you're like what were the first few concepts in cybersecurity that frustrated you and made you feel like, oh my, sure, sir, I no go find another thing, like that kind of thing. So what was what were the first few concepts that the thing shook you? You were like, no, 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 I need to reconsider.
Yeah, so in all my learning, right? I was using Windows operating system, right? I was using Windows operating system. So one of the things that threw me off balance, that shook my leg, and that one of the things that actually discouraged me to be like, are you sure cybersecurity was for me? Was the fact that I was introduced to start using Linux, right? It was really frustrating when I just started using Linux. All my years of studies, I've always been using Windows to write Python scripts, to do coding, to do data analytics, to make maps and the likes. So one of the things that threw me off balance was trying to learn how to use Linux, right? So there's this statement that says, fake it until you make it. So I'm a perfect example of fake it until you make it, right? So when I had my first interview, I was telling them that I can do this, I can do that. So the expectation was high. So anybody watching this, I'm just trying to encourage every one of us that most times you just need to fake it, right? So faking it does not mean it's should I say faking it should not be a challenge to you, right? The most important thing is for you to be able to fake something and you're able to show working, right? So I told them that I can do this, I can I can tumble Linux, I can do this and that. So when I joined, right, when I joined my first cybersecurity job, the expectation was high. Immediately I joined, they just gave me so many things to do that is related to me using Linux, right? So I had sleepless nights. I can never forget one of my colleague then. I don't know if I should mention his name. His name is Ejiro Anikero. You can Google him. you can you can Google him out. His name is Ejiro Anikero. It was a very big support system for me during my first 2 months in cybersecurity, right? So he gave me some labs to complete. And fast forward to today, I think currently I prefer using Linux to Windows, right? So I was able to overcome that challenge, right? And like I said, fake it until you make it, right? So faking it, I was able to prove myself at the end of the day, right? Because like I said, I had no background in cybersecurity, but when I came for the interview, I acted like I was already a professional, in cybersecurity. So, but look at me today. So that's basically it on my own end. Just the Linux aspect. That was one of my biggest challenge, breaking into cybersecurity. But look at me today. So that's basically it on my own end. Just the Linux aspect.
Wow, that's amazing. So I think one major thing I picked from this is not is when you talk about faking it, you had to like go back and put in the work to make sure that, like you said, show working, right? Um, Thank you so much for sharing that. I think this should go to this should go to Fola. So you talked about wanting to feel important. That was one of the first things you had to understand that then you got guidance and all of that. So was there a point where you're like, was there like maybe not a very like maybe not a major win, but just something that it felt like a little light at the end of tunnel, and you were like, yes, this thing is going to take me towards this direction. I'm like, it wasn't like the full picture yet, but was there like a small win that made you know that yes, I need to chase this bag. This is the way to go.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't more of a win. It was more of opportunity, right? So after that moment when he said, take this course and everything kept going, I was slow with it. Sometimes I tried my best, but I also have to read for my courses. I was trying to juggle two of them together and making sure that like I'm able to go back to him with feedback and say, okay, I did this. So one way or the other, I just heard that there's a free CCNA training in school for the computer. I think computer people that are in computer department by I think NITDA or something like that. That was a free training, and when you're done, they'll give you a voucher to write the exam and everything. And in my mind, I was like, this is something I was just talking about. Dude. So I myself, I went there, I went to ask that, okay, I'm not in the computer department, right? I'm in physics department, but I'm still interested in this training. I would like to know what it's about because, I've been here and there, but, having a defined training, it was just like when you say things are working out, like, okay, I just pop in my mind, okay, this is something I want to learn. And all of a sudden, there's a training out there for us. And I'm like, wow, this is a very good opportunity, right? So I went to meet them, that okay, and they were quite surprised. They're like, oh, wow. And I was like, I wrote down my name, and we were having Saturday classes. That was how crazy it was because I think we had to have like 2-3 classes in a week. We're having Saturday classes so that, and I was like, okay, yes, I'm there, I'm going. People dropped. I think people could not keep up and all. But me, I just saw it as an opportunity. I saw it as an opportunity that came right in time. That opportunity came when I was like, oh, I want to know more about this field, right? And boom, it's just there. There's a free training with the certification. I'm like, oh wow, this is nice. Why don't I, plunge on this? So I think for me, that was one of the first things that made me so excited that wow, I don't have to pay so much money to do this. I can have someone with the experience guide me, and when I'm done, I can take the exam. That looked at so much progress. So yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So actually, there are a lot of opportunities that come up in this field. There are a lot of from programs, internships, and all of that. I think somebody left a comment on LinkedIn that he wanted an internship or something like that. So there are lots of opportunities. But one thing I've come to understand about opportunities are most times, while at times it comes to you when you're not even searching, most times it's intentionality. For instance, there are programs you would only see because, for instance, on the internet, maybe for every time you're surfing, you're asking questions that, like, your curiosity is already taking you to Google. You're always searching things around cyber. You start seeing that once there are things related to cybersecurity, you just start seeing it pop up on your feed, right? So sometimes, while opportunities can sometimes just come your way, but if you're not even actively looking for it sometimes, you would, those opportunities are out there, but you wouldn't even know about it. You just be there waiting and saying, oh, I've not seen somebody that can help me break into cyber. Oh, I'm not able to afford this course. Meanwhile, there are actually people sponsoring some of those things. For instance, Anisha talked about Cyber Safe Foundation, right? Somehow it's possible that you may not, there are people that are saying, oh, I don't even know how to start, I don't have money to pay for training, and without knowing that, oh, there were actually opportunities like this open and you have to apply, right? So yeah, thank you so much for that, for sharing that. So I'll ask, and yeah, this will go to Anisha. So when it comes to, I think Faith should actually answer this. So I'll just turn that question to, yeah, because yeah, Faith already talked about some of the challenges she went through. So let me ask Anisha this. Um, have you ever doubted your decision to pursue cybersecurity? Like, at a point you feel like, oh, I'm on the right path, and at a point you just stumble on one challenge and you're like, no, 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 retreat, I'm not doing this anymore. So have you ever like doubted your decision to pursue cyber, like in the midst of the good times, the bad times, or how? Like, just share with us, how has it been? Hi Anisha, I think you're muted. Hi Anisha, your audio is not clear. I don't know if you can hear me. Yeah, hi Anisha, can you hear me?
I think it's a mic.
Yeah, I think so. Because I can't get her too.
Okay, hi Anisha, maybe you should check on your mic. Yeah, so I think I'll come back to that question. So I'll just show just this question is going to Faith. So I'll come back to Anisha later on. Yeah, so hi Faith. Just quickly, you talked about sacrifices you've had to make, the hard times and all of that. How overwhelming it was trying to, combine cybersecurity and the things that you already had on your plate then. And then, of course, you also mentioned sacrifices you had to make in terms of dropping one at a time to pursue one. So, like, can you share more about this? Some of the sacrifices you've had to make, time. Like, how easy was it? Is it just when it comes to time, your finances? Are there friends that even thought that, oh, maybe this girl, you are too serious with your life? Oh, it's like you carry this your cyber and go one side. So, what sacrifices have you had to make in the course of your learning journey, right? Just to keep your eyes on the goal.
I made a lot of sacrifice and I took a lot of risks. I'll say, as a lady, that if someone would tell me that I actually did this back, that I would not even believe. I mean, you first leaving your parent house, and there's no source of income for you. There's no way for you to survive. And then you had this job. I was working for someone in Abuja there. I was a sales rep. I actually served in Mina, so I was sales rep representing this is like a medical company in Mina there. And after my service, the owner of the company actually retained me to work in Abuja. But because of my cyber security program, there's no way I could be going for that job and continue with my training. It's not possible. So I had to let go of the job. Now the challenge was, how do I survive? So I actually did made had some savings down that I was hoping to sustain me for the 7 months. But first, I left my parents' house, coming to stay with someone, one of my friends, and she got a job and she left the house, the apartment. So I was just the only one there, basically. And my money got finished. I almost gave up. There are times I actually cried. I mean, ladies now it can be emotional. How do I survive? My mom was not happy with me because I left the house. I mean, nobody was happy with me now because they're expecting I'll come home and start looking for one, small job like that. And I was no, that's not the life I want. I know what I actually want. I already defined what I want to go into tech, and I want to be a tech professional, either software professional or cybersecurity professional. So going home, staying at home to do that, I know that I will not be able to achieve that. They will not let me. So I had to look for a way to leave the house. So it was finance was first my challenge, because all the money I saved during my service year, I got exhausted. So sometimes after training and the rest during the day, I would just step out of the house, walking up and down looking for a job. I went to different schools. Okay, can you employ me to teach? And guess the amount they wanted to pay me, 10K to come and teach like 5 classes, junior and secondary school. I ran away. Then, so the company I was staying there, this man that had like a business center, he saw that I was actually good with the computer and everything. He said he likes me, he wants me to come and help him and manage the stuff and everything. I can stay and be doing my training. I mean, there's light, stable light and everything, and internet. How much you want me to pay you? He said you pay me 10K for a month. So I'll be working from Monday to Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 to 9 p.m. and you pay me 10K. Like, it was very frustrating. Sometimes I just leave the house. Sometimes I'll stop learning. Like learning became very frustrating for me. And I think I fail. No, I didn't fail any course actually during the program, but it was very, very difficult for me to continue. Sometimes I just feel like giving up. What am I even doing in my life? Am I sure I'm making the right decision? I actually experienced that a lot. Sometimes I just feel like quitting and let me just end this thing and go back. What am I even doing? But other like no, I'm actually in the wrong. I'm in the right path, and I cannot give up because I know the goal I've set for myself. So there's no way I can give up, even though I'm experiencing this financial challenge at this moment. I'll just find a way. So for me, I had like friends that actually came through for me. Remember, I told you that when I started my tech, I usually go out to network. I met a lot of people, guys in tech, and they're willing to help. I think that's one of the advantage for ladies, right? They are guys in tech, and they're willing to help. I think that's one of the advantage for ladies, right? There are guys in tech that are willing to help. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. So I was able to like once in a while just try. Sometimes I was actually in debt. I got into like over 100K there before I got my first job, because I could not keep up with, constantly. That I was asking all the time, but the little I have, I'll just find it. I became a good economist. I had to manage 1K in a 1 week. I left out to manage 1,000 naira in 1 week. So I developed a lot of skills at that period, that 7 months period, or let's say 1 year period of waiting to get a job. I developed a lot of skills. I had to manage my food. Any little thing I have, I had to learn how to manage it, because before I will see another one, I don't know when it's going to come from. So I had to learn how to manage. So like that, I continued to the end of the program, and then after that, I got this interview section. I was happy. I got three interview sessions. One of them did not click, and the other two I did interview. And just few days to November, or I think so, few days November, I was asked to. After the whole series of interview going back and forth, they said they were actually impressed. I was happy that I'm going to start my first cybersecurity job, and I'll start earning money. Finally, I'll stop borrowing, because I was already in a lot of debt. I was like, I don't even know. My first salary, I have to start using to start paying debts. So I was very happy, and I was in Abuja then, right? So Saturday morning, I just got a message from the organization. Oh, congratulations, you passed the interview. We want you in Lagos the following Monday morning to meet our CTO for other stuff. I was happy. I've finally gotten a job. Sunday morning, I had to. I did not have any transport to travel. I just had 5K with me. That's why I now finally called my mom. I was whining her that I've gotten a job in Lagos, so I need support. She said, "Are you sure his job is not fake?" I said, "It's his tech job. I've gotten my first tech job. I don't need transport." I called my friends. So they gave me some money, and the total money I was able to get, I think, was about 30K or so. I used 20K or 18K or so to pay transport, and I think I was left with like 8K. I think I remember I was left with 8K. That's what I used 8K to leave Abuja to Lagos. So getting to Lagos now, let's start the job. Only for me to reach there Monday morning, it was another series of interview with 15 other people. That's when when you say Sapa, I express it. Real Sapa. I got for the first time in my life. I can never forget 2023 December. I got depressed. Like when I see depression, I actually fell into depression, because the company, we had to do a series of interview. They're like, wait, we should wait. The year is ending, it's the next year and everything. They didn't get back to me till today. That company did not get back to me. They just left me in Lagos. First, I asked for accommodation. I told them I don't know anybody in Lagos. I don't have any accommodation. They say it's not the business, so I have to find where to stay. So I was on Sunday morning, I was on my way to Lagos. I didn't even have anywhere to stay at all. So I had to like call my friends, the friends I had there, they've left, they've traveled abroad. So who do I be like? Maybe I'll come and sleep under the bridge. I know even it was around 10 p.m. That's when I finally got where to stay. When I reached out to Olufela. She was very really, helpful to me. So I stayed with her for 1 week. I was hoping that I'll start job, and the job did not come. She still allowed me to stay. So while I was waiting for to hear from the company, I'll still go out of the estate, try to get job, even though it's a military job. At that point, I was looking for anything job. Whether I don't even care what it is, I just needed money. I need to survive, because sometimes in a day I will not eat anything. That's how bad it was. It was really, really bad. And if you look at my neck, then I have to see my throwback. Go to my Facebook, see my throwback picture. I didn't have any money on me. My mom was still not happy. I mean, they were not happy with the decision I took, but I actually knew what I want. At that point, normal. I mean, a normal human being want to like, let me just cut this thing off and go back. There's no way to survive. But I did not. I don't even know. There's this passion that kept on pushing me. Don't give up. I mean, it's just this whatever you're experiencing is just temporary. I mean, there's light at the end of the tunnel, as you used to say. So I managed to. So one day, I just when that depression hits me so down, that because I did not have even 5 naira, 1 kobo I know have. So, and how do I survive? The year is ending. what do I even do with my life? So I just went to my WhatsApp and posted, I'm depressed, easy. So all of my friends reach out, what is it that is playing? And okay, say your account number after I start getting money again. And the hope, money gives hope. So I had to like continue, and then so what helped me to get my first job, I mean the company I actually work with was, remember I mentioned networking. So that period of 7 months where I was training, there was one of these days I just like, let me go online. There are communities. I've joined communities for developers. I'm sure there are actually communities for women or for cybersecurity. I was just basically searching for cybersecurity communities, and then I narrowed it down to women in cybersecurity. Just normal Google search. So I came across different communities for women in cybersecurity, and then I found WISI's community. At that point, they didn't have a Nigeria branch, so I just applied, sending on my application, and then by December they reached out to me. No, October. Yeah, December they actually reached out to me that they want to start women in cybersecurity community, and that's when I got to meet the training manager for the company I was working with. So she was the president, I was the communication officer, and as I got to so I explained my situation that I'm in Lagos, I'm looking for a job, and this. So she requested for my CV, and I sent it, and that's how I got my first job in a cybersecurity with the company I'm currently working with. So I had different, series of challenges that I've actually survived. But here I am today, and God is helping me, and I'm doing great. Thank you.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
amazing. Like, ah, that. First off, I need an SOP on how to manage 1K in wow. Please, I need a detailed SOP. Oh, and it's amazing that in all of this, one thing you said is that there's this passion that's kept you going. There's that. Well, it is well. It is well. And I'm glad that we look back at those days now, and then we're glad that we didn't give up. Right. So it's not all rosy. And it's like that thing they say, there's light at the end of the tunnel. True. You've seen the light. Thank you so much, Faith. Yeah, so
Thank you.
Anisha, I don't know if your mic is working now. So yeah, I'll come back to you. So just quickly in a minute, have you ever doubted your decision to work the cybersecurity part? Hi, Anisha. Yeah, can you try saying something again? I can't hear you.
I think is maybe she has to restart her system or something. The audio.
Oh, can you try like joining again? All right. Yeah, so while Anisha joins the call again. Yeah, so just quickly in a minute. Yeah. So I just want us to share. So we'll start from Fola. So what's one thing that keeps you going on tough days? Like just one random thing. It doesn't have to be something, but just what's one thing that keeps you sometimes for me just to probably sleep and eat good maybe to find just close the laptop, find swallow like this once I eat the swallow like this. So what's one thing that keeps you going on tough days, and what's one advice that you can give to somebody that is just starting up on their journey? So it's like a two-in-one question, right? What's one advice you can give to somebody that is probably just starting their journey, or they've started and as they took it like this, they say, this thing is not all rosy. So what's one advice that you have, and what's one thing that helps you to keep going on tough days? So the question is going round for La, Shegun, and then back to Faith.
All right. So I think the joy of solving problems keeps me going, I would say so. When you're doing something over and over for a long time and then it clicks and it works, like there's this internal joy. Even when I'm around people, sometimes they might not feel the joy I'm feeling. I think I was doing a project on Linux the other time and it kept crashing, it wasn't working. I was trying to clone from GitHub, it wasn't working. I just had issues. I'll take down my Kali, bring it back, take it, bring it back, and the day I figured it out, I just saw Cloud, I was so happy, So when you're happy, it gives you the joy to take on another project. Basically, I think that is one thing that keeps me going. The fact that I like this. I have the mindset of solving problems, making people happy. Right, when you solve problems, you make people happy. You have this issue, right? And the thing about solving problems, it could be anything, right? I was at this government parastatal the other day, and they wanted to throw away a laptop. Like they've actually taken the laptop and they wanted to toss it in the bin. So the guy sitting there knew I did. He knows I do something about computer. I was like, bring it. Let this guy even see it before we throw it away, right? Because it was an old laptop, and they said it wasn't connecting to the internet. That was the issue he had, right? In my mind, I was like, why are these people giving me this thing? I'm not an IT professional. I don't fix laptops, right? But I think that's fine. What's the issue? Let's see. It doesn't connect to internet, right? Let's try and see. Right there, I even went to Google. I was checking if a computer doesn't connect to internet, how do we fix it? Blah blah blah. I was checking the adapter settings, but everything wasn't working. I was about just giving them the laptop that, oh, I can't fix this laptop, but I don't know what's wrong. Maybe they will throw it away. I just clicked on the button. There's a button in front after your power button. There's a sound button and an internet button right on top. And as I pressed that button, the internet came on, and literally, and we're so happy. We're like, oh, what can we give you? Oh, hi, hi. Literally, in my mind, I was like, you guys don't even know it was a button I just pressed. So, right, that joy of solving problems, right? That's what keeps me going. It keeps me going even on bad days. The passion, right? The passion keeps me going. That when you figure this onto the next, then the major reason why I started to become an asset, right? I see that in this field you can become an asset. People want you for what you can do. People like your skills. The reason why there's a job, there's an high hiring position out there is because we have this position and we need someone with this skill to come into the company and help us basically. So that's basically how it is. So when you have the skills that this person is looking for, they will call you, right? So in the end, you become an asset. Oh, you can do this. From there, you keep growing. And there's one basic thing: you don't know everything. There's always one more thing to learn, right? You never know everything. So one advice I would give to people is, what's your reason for starting? When your why is big enough, it overcomes the troubles, the problems, and the little challenges you have at the beginning. The reason is the why. Why am I trying to do this thing? Why do I think this will benefit me? When your why is big enough, you would accomplish a lot of things. It will keep driving you. It will keep pushing you that, oh, the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to be this. I want to become a force to be reckoned with. I want to accomplish this. I want to bring smiles to people's faces. Your why would make you accomplish a lot of things. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So you keep your why right in front of you, right? And there's always one new thing to learn. Yeah. So Anisha, I don't know if your audio is fine now. So we've moved to just in 1 minute. What's one thing that keeps you going on your cybersecurity journey, and what's one advice you have for anybody starting out, or anybody that is at that edge of trying to give up and maybe find something else to do? And what's your advice, and what's one thing that keeps you going?
Confirm you can hear me once again. Oh, finally.
Yay, you're back finally.
Okay, so for me, the things that keep me going, first of all, is the community that I'm in, right? So it keeps me motivated and connected. And what I can say, an advice that I can give to young people like me who are so curious is, you don't have to know everything for you to start. You just have to start. even if you don't know what cybersecurity is, just start. You know along the way, right? You just have to go on. And then to answer again the question that you asked me earlier, where you were asking me if I was in a position where I wanted to quit, right? Yes, I was. What happened is when I mentioned earlier that I was juggling two things at once, which is school, my degree, and then the cybersecurity learning that I had started. So I think time management. I was poor with time management. In as much as I wanted to schedule my day and say this time is for this one, this time is for class, this time is for cybersecurity. I was so bad with that. It took me, let me say, 3 months, yeah, for me to be saying now I now understand what I'm doing, because I was just doing many things at once. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you so much, Anisha. Yeah, Shagun. Yeah,
You're
your
muted.
mic is muted.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, your mic is muted.
Yeah, for me, right? So my candid advice is in two words. I'll say passion, consistency, right? So whatever you're passionate about, right, you always want to do it, right? So one thing I will advise anybody who is trying to break into cybersecurity, right, is first of all ask yourself this very, very, very big question: is this something I want to do? Is this something I'm passionate about, right? So the moment you can answer that big question, are you passionate about this thing? Then of course you will be able to succeed. So for me, passion, consistency have always kept me going. So even in my times of trying moments where when I feel so overwhelmed, the passion still, I still see myself trying to do what I'm meant to do, right? So the passion is just my drive, basically. So yeah. What I'm meant to do, right? So the passion is just my drive, basically.
Thank you so much, Shagun. Thank you so much. So you have to keep that passion burning, right? Yeah, Faith.
Okay, for me, okay, I will build on that. The question you asked, Anita. Is it Anisha also? So even till now, at the level I am, there are still points where. Can you hear me, please?
Yes,
Can
clearly.
you hear me? Okay, there are still points where I feel like giving up. The higher you go, the more challenge you get to face, right? But when, like Chego said, the passion there will keep you going and interest. And also, everybody wants to go into tech, everybody wants to go into cybersecurity basically. So you ask yourself, is this what I want to do in a long term? Is this why what I see myself doing in the next 10 years, in the next 5 years, in the next 15 years? What is the interest? What is pushing you into tech? What is pushing you into cybersecurity? Like Fola said, the big question, the why is there. Once you figure out that, the next thing is how can I add value in the area of cybersecurity? I can add values to people. I can I add values to organization. I mean, for me, that's most the fundamental things you have to put in mind wherever you find yourself adding value. What way can add value to someone, or in what way can I add value to an organization? If you do your research, or if you observe where you notice that organization actually value people that add value to them. You cannot be working for someone and you're not adding value to them. You're not adding value to their business. I mean, they will not. There's a way they're going to prioritize you, right? So wherever, even though you're not doing whether it's not tech or whether it's not cybersecurity, wherever you find yourself, your main focus is how can I add value to this organization where I am working currently, or I mean this set of in the group of these people, how can I add value to their life? That should be your major focus. Adding value should be your priority. And aside that, networking, like talking will take you far. You can have 100 skills, 100 millions of knowledge, but if you don't have the proper networking, you will not go far. Sometimes most of the jobs you have, people say that it's hard to get job in cybersecurity. It's actually true. It's very, very hard in cybersecurity compared to programming language, right? Because most of the time you get recommendations, right? So if you don't network well, if you don't go out to network, if you don't meet the right people, you're just sitting at your home there and doing your lab, doing your cybersecurity, that job will not come to you, because people need to trust who is coming to, have access to their data, have access to their information. So go out there, network. You have a lot of webinars, you have conferences in cybersecurity. Just do your search, go there, go out and network, meet people, tell them what you do. These are the things I do. Go out there and network. I mean, that one for entry level, you can. It's not just entry level, actually even mid level, to help you to get a job faster by God's grace. And also building your fundamental, very, very important. If you want to go for in cybersecurity, if you want to go for as a cybersecurity professional, you having a strong fundamentals is very, very important. Understanding what networking is, what is IP, how does two computers communicate together. When they come together, how will an attacker intercept a traffic? All those basic fundamentals. When you have a strong fundamentals, it will help you to build on and get higher. And then most importantly, keep on learning never stop. Even when you have gotten to that managerial role, keep on learning, keep on building labs. For entry level, you don't have the experience yet. You see some jobs will tell you you have to have 2 years experience, you have to have 1 year experience, you have to have 5 years experience. But for you that are just starting out new or career inside, you are looking for a job, what will help you during your interview, you can speak to, I don't have this years of experience, so but I've done a number of projects. You want to be a SOC analyst, there are a lot of resources out there, right? There are a lot of open source too. There are some things that you can use for free. You can install it on your system. Just try out different things. Try to understand how things work. Build labs. Have a lot of labs that you can speak to. So when you go into an interview, that will speak out for you if you don't have that experience, and you can easily get your job. So to summarize everything, your interest is very, very important. Where do I want to see myself in the next 5 years, 10 years? Do I see myself doing this career in long run? And also building your fundamentals, very, very important. Keep on learning. Learning never stop. For cybersecurity, new threats keep on emerging. Cyber attackers keep on looking for new ways to, crack the system, have access to unauthorized access. So for we, the defenders or cybersecurity professional, if we want to beat them, we have to always keep on learning. And the network, very, very important. That one is very, very important. Keep on networking, and the sky is your starting point, not your limit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Faith. Yeah, so there's something that stuck about networking. It was a post I came across with, and they said that if you want to be successful in your cybersecurity career, there are two networking you must hold dearly. So there's networking and there's networking, and Faith has talked about the both of them. So there's the networking, understanding your networks, and then there's the human networking. You need to hold both of them. That's why you have two hands. Hold one here, hold one the other hand. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone. It's been an amazing time. I really enjoyed them. Having this conversation, sharing from our journeys, right? And thank you to everyone who also joined the call. We've actually even stayed more than we planned to. And this is CyberGist Live. It's a monthly session where we get to just have gist around cybersecurity. It happens once every month here on Securely Evolving. If you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do well. It's all about digital awareness, personal development, and cybersecurity. So you evolve, you're growing daily, and you're doing it in a secured way. So click on the subscribe button and do well to turn on notifications, right? So just before we call it a day, so I'll just take it through. So each of us, in one word, how would you describe your journey so far in one word? So I'll go from Fola to Faith to Shegun and then to Anisha. In one word, how would you describe your journey so far?
For me, fulfilling.
Aw, Faith. Faith, you're muted.
I said for me, it's amazing. Amazing journey so far.
Oh, even with the SOP that you need to write for me. Yeah, Shagun. So in one word,
Oh, Faith, why did you steal my word now?
Sorry. You can use wonderful.
Okay, let's go with wonderful. You stole my word.
Someone is saying
yeah,
that I
Nisha,
cannot hear.
one word.
Okay.
Okay, so they all used the words that I was going to use, but I'll just say inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. So it's good to know that despite the whole journey zigzag, we still find what we do fulfilling, amazing, inspiring, and all of that. But there's one thing I noticed that when I asked about why we got into cybersecurity, how, and all of that, nobody mentioned money. We don't like
Yeah, I
money.
wanted to mention it too. I thought I mentioned it. It's for me, it's money. Oh. I said it still. I actually mentioned it. It's money. Oh. I need to survive. Even though it's not cyber security tech, whatever you are doing in this life, for me, money is equal. Because how do you get to survive? How do you buy clothes? How do you feed yourself? How do you pay your landlord? How do you buy data? I mean, it's money. Let's be honest. It's money.
Hey God, somebody said in the comment that we are disguising like this. We don't like money. We are just talking passion,
No,
passion. So Fola said he wants to solve the problem. What is the end goal
no,
of the
as you are
solving
solving
problem?
problems, you are getting money. Let me even tell you something, right? When I was starting, right at the beginning, I told myself that I don't as I'm solving problem, someone will pay me. I don't know if you understand. Like it's basic science. Like someone reached out to you generally that, oh, what's up, right? I want you to help me do this. Oh, you fixed it. Oh, okay, take this 2K, take this 5K. So eventually, without even you knowing, you still get the money. I don't know if you understand. But before you get the money, you have to be able to solve a problem. You won't just sit down there and say, yeah, for sleeping, take this. Right? You've done something, just something little. From there, you do bigger tasks and you get the money. So as she said, the higher you go, the more challenging it is and the more money it is. So yeah.
Yeah, the more challenge
Yeah,
you're able to solve, the more money you're able to get, the more value you're able to add, the more money you're able to earn. That's just it.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I like that because I really had to mention that part, right? So while we're chasing passion and chasing all of that, we should know that, of course, money is important, right? But um, money is a reward. It's more like it comes from value. So you give value and you're getting money in return. So the more you grow, the more the challenges you have to face, and the more problems you get to solve, the more money you make. Right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Ejiro Gene. We are loyal, sir. Thank you so much, Neka, for joining. Chigozrim Grace, Stella, Okonkwo, Victor. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And for those who would be maybe watching the replay later, thank you so much. And I hope that at least you picked one lesson from this conversation. So see you
Yeah.
next month for CyberGist session. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.